Everyone, Chelsea here from So Simple Home. Our project today is not a sewing project. Today's project is, I guess you would say, a craft, but it could be a sewing project if you make socks. I don't. But today we're going to make custom socks using our heat press. So you will need some type of heat press. You can for sure try an iron. I don't know that for this project it's going to get quite hot enough to transfer the infusible ink to the socks, but you're definitely welcome to try it. I'm going to be using my HTV Ront heat press. It's really easy to use. If I didn't have that, I would just use my Cricut Easy Press, but because I have that, I'm going to go ahead and use it. You're going to need to set your heat press to 385 degrees and just let it sit there. So it's nice and hot for this project. Now we're making socks, like I said. You need to find some type of ankle sock. Now these ones right here, let me show you what I have here. I have these socks that are a little bit higher than ankle, and then I have these low cut ankle socks. Now what you're looking for in your socks is they need to be primarily polyester. So when you look at the actual label of the sock, this one right here says 98% polyester, 2% spandex. And this one right here has it at 73% polyester, 25% cotton, and 2% lycra. So it needs to have at least, I believe, 60% or higher in a polyester content for this project to really work. So these are really high. This is over 90% polyester, and these ones are 70+% polyester. So both of these will work. The higher the polyester, the more vivid the color is going to be. So you can see here, this is a really nice vivid kind of orangey red. And then this one is not quite as vivid, but it still works. Now, I would try and find completely plain white socks, but that is a challenge. Why? Because everybody has heels that are colorful or want their logo on it. So these socks I actually bought at Walmart for my son. And let me pull a pair out. And you can see them here on the front of this one. It has the word Reebok. Some of them have it on the back. And you can see that on this one. It has these little lines and then it says Reebok. But the pattern still came through really nicely. And it wasn't really an issue. Okay? So you might have to experiment a little, but this is definitely still going to work even if it has a design. Now I would stay away from it being completely like a black toe or a gray heel or whatever, because you're really not going to get the design that you want. Try and get as much white as possible for your socks. All right, so the first thing that you're going to do, we're going to pull out one of each of these. We'll make 2 pairs of socks here. Now these ones are still connected. So I've got 2 pairs of socks here. A little bit bigger pair. This is an adult size, and then this is a child size. Now, in order for this to work, the socks are going to have to lay as flat as possible. Now, if I laid it flat like this, what would end up happening is I'd probably have some type of like seam right here, or the pattern wouldn't match up as well. So I actually want to lay it flat, more like this. Okay, and to do that we're going to use some cardboard. So I have just a scrap piece of cardboard here, and what you're going to do is you're going to open up your sock the best that you can here and lay it flat on your cardboard as best as I can. And then you're going to take some type of utensil and kind of outline your sock. And you're going to go all the way to the top and down. Now this seems really high, and that's okay. What we want to do is we want to widen it slightly on both sides, because we want to stretch that sock out so it will completely fit over the cardboard. And so that once it's stretched out, all of the sock will get the design on it. If we don't stretch it out enough, the whole sock will not get the design on it. So we're gonna start there. We can always trim it down to make it work a little bit better for us. So I'm gonna just kind of cut out. Gotta check on my heat press. It's beeping at me saying, hey, you haven't done anything. Yes, I know. And we're just kind of cutting it out. It doesn't have to be perfect. You do want a rounded edge at the top and the bottom, just because that's kind of how the sock is. Okay, then we're just going to fit our sock over the cardboard. And again, it's going to stretch the sock, and we want that. We want it to stretch the sock. We don't want it to be a crazy stretch, but enough of a stretch that it's going to get as much of that sock as possible. Okay. Now at the top, I found if we go like this on this type of sock specifically, then this top part, it will not heat press well. So you kind of want it to be a little bit flat. And then you have to watch out for the heel. If the heel folds over, then you'll end up with, let's see, I think one of these has, you'll kind of see you'll end up with the design kind of messed up a little bit. Now, is that big of a deal? Not necessarily. I would still wear those socks. It's not like people look at the heels of your socks very often. But you kind of want to stretch. And so that's why the cardboard, if you have it a little bit wider, whatever, it's going to stretch everything a little bit better. So I'm just going to pull those toes down just a little bit and get everything as flat as I can. All right, I'm going to do the same thing for my other sock. You can see here I have another piece of cardboard already cut out. And we're going to stretch our sock on there. All the way up to the top. So both of them are nice and flat. Okay, so those are my two big socks. All right, now the design. So for the design, you are going to need some type of infusible ink pattern. Now I ordered this pack, well I guess it's actually 2 packs off of Amazon, and they are specifically like holiday designs. So I have all these cute like reindeer and chevron. There are some like this one, which is a polka dot. There's also, find it here, this fun gingham. I really like this one. So there's lots of fun designs. They don't all have to be Christmas. They have a lot of animal print designs. They have some watercolor ones. There's so many. I will leave a link in the description specifically to the Christmas packs, and then I'll link a couple other infusible ink packs that I think are would make really fun and cool socks. So for this one, we're gonna go ahead and do this green kind of polka dot. And then for our little design, I think I kind of like this one. But you know what? I have a Disney loving kid that will actually probably really love. Oh, but there's these ones too. Let's do, well, I want you to see some different colors though. That's green and green. Well, let's do these ones. So we'll do this kind of green, and then we'll do this one right now that looks like it's white, red, yellow, and blue. But we will find out once we put everything together what the actual colors are. I'm always surprised because when you're working with infusible ink, the colors are not, the colors on the infusible ink sheet are not vibrant. They're really dull. That's normal. That's how it's supposed to be. But you're never quite sure what they're going to look like once you press them onto your actual material, which is kind of fun. All right, so I'm going to do these bigger socks in this material. And so, or in this design, I guess I should say. So what I'm going to do is I'm putting the front of my sock down on the material. Now make sure if this is a directional print, so if I'm pressing this onto my sock, I want all my Christmas trees to be going the same direction, right? I don't want them upside down. And I have done that with some socks and did it upside down. And then you're going to need some heat tape. And I actually already cut some pieces because it makes life a little bit easier. But you're gonna fold your infusible ink over and kind of match it in the middle. Now this is important, especially if you're doing like a print. So if you were doing, say, this design, you want to make sure that they don't go like this, and then on the back side of your, or the bottom of your foot, all the rainbows are wonky. So you kind of want to make sure your pattern is the same, and that they kind of match up. And this one is kind of scattered, so I think we should be just fine that way. We're gonna grab our other sock here. And he's a little bit bigger. But again, we're just gonna fold it, match up the design as best we can. Just like that. And then we're gonna go over and put them on our heat press, and I'll show you how to do that. So here is my HTV Ron Auto Heat Press. It has this nice little drawer. It's set to automatic, so it'll automatically go and start pressing as soon as I turn it on. Now, one of the things you want to make sure on is to use some butcher paper, or you can also use the cover that comes with it. I'm just going to put that over there. Because the actual ink from the infusible ink can get on your machine, and you don't want that, because then you'll be staining everything, and that's never fun. So I use 2 pieces of parchment paper, and sometimes it comes with it, sometimes it doesn't. We're going to press it for 45 seconds at 385 degrees. And this machine will do all the work for me. Now, if you're using a Cricut Easy Press, then you're going to need to press it for that 45 seconds, and you're going to have to do it on your own. So make sure you have a timer. I know that all the Easy Presses have a timer on them. Just make sure that you set it to that 45 seconds, and then just give as even of pressing pressure as you can. Infusible ink, as long as you've taped it on, I feel like it's pretty good at regulating. It doesn't move a lot. But if you haven't taped your project, then that's not a guarantee. And then I just have my little Cricut little pliers here. And I'm just going to use them to kind of turn these over. They're very hot, so be careful, don't burn yourself. So I've turned them over, and now I'm going to press them on the opposite side for, again, that 45 seconds. That just ensures that there was enough heat on both sides. If you do not press it, again, on the opposite side, the design will not press through, because the pressure and the heat was only on the top. And that's true for the Cricut Easy Press, that's true for the HTV Ron Auto Press, that's true for the Cricut Auto Press. So you have to turn them over, and that's for any project. So if you're doing a bag or a zipper pouch or a t-shirt or whatever, if the design is on both sides, you have to turn it over and press the design directly with the heat. All right, we're almost done here. Just a couple more seconds. Okay. And on my machine, for whatever reason, the paper always gets stuck. Okay. They are all ready to go, so I'm just going to use my little tweezers here and bring them back over to the table. All right, our socks are all pressed. They're still nice and hot. But we're going to go ahead and open it up. Ooh, these colors. I'm loving this color. Look at that. It's kind of like a blue-green with some orange and pink. It's a little retro-y. I love it. And there's the other one. And again, they are pretty warm, so just be careful. The cardboard is actually what gets really hot. The socks themselves aren't too hot. Let me just pop them off here. Now, we'll show you here. I don't know if you can see it, but this is where the seam for the design is. And you can see that it's changed from kind of the green into the orange and pink tree. But it's not abrupt enough, even here, that anybody notices. And so that's one of the things that's so cool about this project is they really do look like store-bought socks. Just so cool. Look at that design. I love that. So fun. So now you have these two cute socks, or a pair of socks. Now you would wait 24 hours before you would wash these. And then you can wash them and give them away, roll them up, tie a ribbon, whatever you want to do. Okay, this is the 98% polyester. So those colors came out really vibrant compared to what they were on the paper, right? You can kind of see how dull they are on the paper. Very, very vibrant, beautiful. This is the 75%, I believe it is. And we're gonna go ahead and do those as well so you can kind of see the difference. And again, it's not a huge difference. At least I didn't feel that it was like this monumental difference in color, but it definitely is a little bit. Now these socks, I already have little templates cut out for them. And then the one thing that you want to make sure on, because it does have Reebok on them or whatever, you do want to make sure you kind of center things so that the design isn't like super off center, because it would be really weird. All right, so here's my two. And I went ahead and trimmed this one down just a little bit, not necessarily to save on my infusible ink, but more so everything fits just a little bit better. There's not quite as much overlap. But you could definitely, because it's a smaller sock, you know, taking some of this infusible ink out, you can use that for other smaller projects later on if you want, or not. It doesn't really matter. It's up to you. Okay, so there's my two smaller socks. Let's take them over to the heat press and get them pressed. All right, let's check on these smaller socks and see how they did. Oh man, look at that. Oh, this is so cute. Oh, I'm loving those polka dots. And you can see here, if we open it up, how it pulled that infusible ink out and onto the material, which is kind of cool. But look at those. Those turned out, I love the color. And again, you can kind of see that seam, but it's not super prominent. In fact, this one's even better. Like you can barely see it. It's not prominent enough that people would point it out, I wouldn't think. At least to the people I've given socks to. How cute are those? Super, super simple. So we've got some Christmas trees. We've got some polka dots. And then some more polka dots here. But those are all our Christmas socks or everyday socks. These are festive enough to be Christmas, but they definitely could be used for everyday socks. And again, you can see these ones had the Reebok on the bottom, but the print still came through. They look really nice. So I guess if you have a kid that's like, I only wear Nike socks, if they have enough of the polyester in them, then you can use them for this project. And again, I would highly suggest, if you're doing infusible ink, the socks need to be at least 60% or more polyester. If it's less than that, you're not going to be very successful. So make sure you check your socks. I will link the socks that I purchased on Amazon.
You can, some of these ones, the Reebok ones I found at Walmart. These ones I got on Amazon, and then I got another set of ankle socks on Amazon that worked really well and were really high in polyester as well. So that is how you make your own custom holiday or everyday socks using infusible ink. Let me know if you have any questions. Again, I will put all the links in the description for everything that I use, from the socks to the infusible ink packs, to the tape, to the heat press that I use. So everything will be down there so that you can be successful in making your own socks for gifts this year. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you guys next time.